So what a plot twist. The guy with the Nazi tattoo, he's a bad dude. Yeah, someone finally blew the whistle on Platner, and it was a rape whistle. Maine Democrat Graham Platner has been accused of rape. At this point, I'm starting to suspect those oysters he tried to shuck were roofied. I wonder, is there anything Graham wants to directly address?
I wanted to directly address the troubling, serious, and false allegations against me. Any accusation of non-consensual behavior is categorically false. I have been deeply humbled by the faith Mainers have put in me. You have welcomed me into your homes. So, regardless of the inaccuracy of the reporting, but mindful of the political reality it will inflict, we are taking the time to reflect on the best path forward.
Yeah, on the upside, he's got more time to cheat on his wife. But the best path forward to where exactly? If it's to a singles bar, ladies, keep your hands over your drinks. Because all of his top supporters, Liz Warren, Ro Khanna, Chuck Schumer, are distancing themselves faster than Paul Pelosi from a car accident. The latest accuser said she hesitated to come forward because she's a Dem and didn't want to hurt the campaign. And I'm sure she saw how previous allegations were dismissed because the woman wasn't on their side. Per usual, believe all women depends on political affiliation and usefulness. But it's interesting that this is their final straw. Not the Nazi tattoo, not praising Hamas, Antifa, not blaming rape on drunk women, not espousing violence against political enemies, not saying a fellow soldier should die, not jerking off in a porta potty, and not having a mustache that's longer than his beard. He gave Dems plenty of chances to do the right thing. I know, that was a Hail Mary. But this was too much. Except some are still defending him. And yeah, it's a chick. So, Debbie, what are the ramifications of this?
What are the ramifications of this?
This is up to the people of Maine, and they spoke loud and clear. They want change. They want someone who's going to stand up to Donald Trump. I will always be concerned about domestic violence allegations, sexual assault allegations, but also, we got a man in the White House that's a predator, so it's a very complicated situation.
As Sir Mix-a-Lot would say, that's a hell of a big butt. So you're against rape unless the rapist challenges Trump. So the ends justify literally any means. That's the Dems' biggest crime. By painting Trump as pure evil, it gives them the pass to embrace challengers who are literally the evil thing they accuse Trump of being. So they present the choice, wash their hands, and dump the responsibility on the voters, who they never shame for backing Platner. Yet they had zero problem smearing millions of Trump voters as garbage and tossing Bernie supporters aside when clearly he was the party's choice. But also, why did they stick with him even as it kept getting worse? Because that's a fallacy. His scandals didn't get worse. It began at rock bottom with the Gestapo body art. By accepting that, they could accept anything. The second they decided that was excusable, everything after that was fine. It's like after mistakenly purchasing the pleasures of a Bangkok ladyboy, well, you might as well see it through. Pretty soon, the bar was lower than Joe Biden's nuts. And over time, they found themselves neck deep in a sunk cost. They're like a gambler in Vegas trying to win back his kid's college fund. And yet, if they dumped him the moment they saw the tattoo, they wouldn't be here. But every heinous act they excused as PTSD, a man wrestling with demons, while they left out the context that millions and millions of vets didn't get a Nazi tattoo. And Joey Jones never sent me topless photos, no matter how many times I demanded them. Oh, yeah. I'll wear him down, just you watch. Their behavior reminds me of film producers who know the movie they're making is a stinker, but they never shut it down. Graham Platner is their Supergirl. They'll say it'll be okay, but they know they're screwed. And no one says, maybe we should end this. So scared of cutting their losses, they'll drive full speed off a cliff because politics rules over principle. Hell, they'd run the corpse of Charlie Manson. And at this point, that would be a breath of fresh air. Let's welcome tonight's guest. With a name like hers, why isn't she doing the weather in Peoria? Former Trump White House official Caroline Sunshine. He always leaves the crowd in stitches after they hit their ears with hammers. Writer and comedian Joe DeVito. She's proof that when life gives you lemons, stab the lemons. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Kat Tibb. And that's not dandruff. Those are dead mountain climbers. Former NWA world champion and host of the Planet Tired podcast, Harris. Caroline, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You look fantastic, very nicely dressed up, unlike the rest of us.
I ran out of turtlenecks.
Well, we stopped caring. Should we applaud the Dems now that they're so-called coming to their senses?
I think this is about power, not morality. I don't think it ever was, you know? I mean, this is about they think that they have a better shot at beating Susan Collins if Graham Platner is out of the race. So they're acting like this is about protecting women, this is about taking a moral stance. No, it's not. This is just pure politics. I think that innocent until proven guilty still has to mean something in this country. And I think that you can take her allegations seriously, but that it should play out in the court of law, not the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of tired of this pattern in our politics where we have men who will be like at the 10-yard line of some political, victory, and whether it's Clarence Thomas or Brett Kavanaugh or President Trump or Eric Swalwell or Graham Platner, you can be at the 10-yard line, and then there's this allegation from 20 years that can come out. And I just don't want to live in a country where, where that's a reality. I mean, I'm a woman, but I'm also a sister of two brothers, So I think it should play out in the court of law, not the court of public opinion.
That is surprisingly fair. Almost too thoughtful for this show. Very disturbing. Joe, let's bring it back to reality.
Yeah.
This guy's done.
Yeah,
I don't like him, but,
isn't it crazy? It's always the ones you most suspect.
Yes.
It really is.
Was the Nazi tattoo a hint?
What's amazing is in a normal story, it would go several beats, and then he had a Nazi tattoo.
Yeah.
And this one started with, he had a Nazi tattoo. Let's see how this unfolds.
Yes.
Okay? Because you pointed out millions of other veterans didn't have Nazi. Millions of Hitler's veterans didn't have Nazi tattoos. He even took it to that higher level. And you look, this is, and the Dems who are distancing themselves now is hilarious. That Elizabeth Warren gave him the old Geronimo and jumped away from him.
Indian giver.
She is. She took it right back. So I think the problem is, well, look at who they consider their shining stars. You had Fartin Eric Swalwell and the pervy oyster farmer. So who smells worse?
Yeah.
Who can say? The women were pepper spraying just to have a better scent in the air around these guys. So I think the problem is they have spent so much time demonizing men that when they say, we need to have a real man, they don't know what that means anymore.
Yeah.
They pick someone like him. They pick someone like Tim Walz because they've spent the past decade saying toxic masculinity. And what they don't realize is when you took the masculinity away, you're just left with the toxic.
Nicely put. Kat, you know what kills me is when Dingell, I think that's her name, said it's up to the people of Maine. You keep hearing that. They never said that about Trump supporters. They didn't even say that about their own guy, Bernie Sanders. If it were up to the people, Bernie Sanders would have been their nominee in 2016. So they had no problem disrespecting the Sanders supporters or the millions of Trump supporters. But here it's always, oh, well, the Maine is strongly behind him and we have to respect that. I don't get it.
you do gotta wonder how Bernie Sanders feels.
Yes, exactly.
About now there's Democratic Socialists getting elected.
Yes.
And he's like, "Whoa!"
He might be the nominee in 2028. Because of this.
I don't think so. I don't think. It's really hard for a ship to sail, I think, in politics, but it may have for him.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of energy behind these people, and there's a lot of energy behind him for that reason. He got away with, I mean, think about, this is not the first, this is a corroborated allegation, and it's not the first corroborated allegation. And then also you just look at other things about this guy's character. Yes, the tattoo, but also some of the comments that he was making, you know, justifying using political violence to get what you want. It's like, oh, this is a guy that thinks it's okay to use violence to get what you want. That is something he said himself. And there was, so much of it was just washed away by, like, what? He wears a flannel?
Yeah.
Like, but he wears a flannel. He's just one of the guys.
Yes.
It's like, no, that shouldn't be enough. And, you know, it is, I think, a good thing to see people distancing themselves from him, but it did really take a lot. And then also, in my view, his policies suck.
Yes.
And I don't think, like, anyone's even talked about that because he has so many character flaws that we haven't even discussed just how horrible his policies
We never got
would be
there.
for the state. We never had time to even really touch on that.
That's so true. That's so true. You know, the only thing that could save him, Tyrus, is if he came out as a lesbian. He has the wardrobe. He has the wardrobe.
And the facial hair. Yeah, suddenly his rape isn't as rough because he's a lesbian. No, I think I asked the women in prison right now being raped by women.
Yeah.
I think they would say the same thing. I have a problem with this. In this day and age, for an animal, if the things that she said he did are true, why would you not get a restraining order? Why would you not press charges? It's not like he was somebody that was just this famous person. Like, this is when a woman says something, they treat it, I think everyone should be heard. But at the same time, if someone did something to you that barbaric, why would you not put his ass in jail or at least file a report or get a restraining order?
Yeah.
It's just time after time, I think that the Democrats, their moral character is actually worse than his. Because I think their plan was they just wanted his seat, and they used him to get the seat, and then they're like, oh, we'll drop this one, and we'll all distance ourselves from him, and then it will be all better. No. This is who it is, and the only thing is that his interview, his response was, like, the only thing he didn't do was be like, it was me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a horrible response for somebody because if someone made an allegation like that, you should sue him for defamation. You should come out strongly and be like, hell no, I didn't do that. That's what my black ass would be saying. And be like, no, I wasn't even at the drive-thru with her, or whatever the case was. You fight it. But I think he was under pressure by them to be like, hey, you went further than we thought you were going to go. So maybe you'll get around the next time. But I think it's really sad that in this day and age, if somebody wrongs you, or somebody physically harms you or does something like that, call the police, put their ass in jail so they're never in the position to run for office. Why are we waiting so long?
Yeah.
And that's why you get everyone raising the eyebrow.
Yeah.
It's probably everything she said was true, but the timing of it just doesn't pass the smell test. And nothing about this dude passes the smell test.
No, nothing.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.